and welcome to another episode of Ask the Doc. I'm your host, Jennifer Filzen, and today I have with me Matthew Welsh of Welsh Counseling and Coaching in Illinois. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to speaking with you today.
Oh, yeah. And so tell us about your practice and what you do and what your specialty is.
Sure. Well, I'm a licensed clinical psychologist and I'm also a life coach, and I provide therapy and coaching to people who are dealing with depression, anxiety, trauma, PTSD, substance use, and also a lot of very high functioning professionals who are trying to navigate issues related to work, stress, career change, or relationship difficulties.
You are busy. Yeah. Because
Yes.
a lot of us are going
Yes.
through all of that. Yes.
You're right. Yeah. Yes.
Have you seen your practice grow since COVID? Because, what's fascinating to me is that COVID was such a life changing thing for so many of us. And I choose to find the good in almost every situation, right? And I believe that COVID brought forth a very healthy discussion about mental health and anxiety. And I see a lot of business owners who have strokes and heart issues because of all the stress of work and such. So, are you finding that not only are people more forthcoming, but more actively seeking therapy now that it's okay to talk about it?
Yes, you're right. I mean, with COVID, it has destigmatized some of the taboos related to mental health and therapy. So people recognize, hey, if I'm feeling anxiety or even some trauma related to a death or grief, or even just some family conflict has come up with COVID because people don't know how to spend the holidays. Should we wear masks? Not wear masks? Socially distance? Not socially distance? So this has just created a lot of just conflict amongst families and holidays and get-togethers. So a lot of that, yeah, people are seeking out therapy and coaches to help them navigate some of these new issues. And I do actually give credit to the media for bringing some of these issues to light. I think just Anderson Cooper recently did a whole podcast series on grief. So this is definitely at the forefront of people's minds.
Yeah, right. Oh, such good stuff. Now, you have something that makes you pretty special and unique. You have a law background as well as therapy. Tell me about that. Tell us about that journey?
Oh, sure. I mean, I definitely didn't plan this to start off. But I started off, I went to law school, and then became a licensed attorney, worked as a trial lawyer for Department of Child Services, and then in private practice with family law. But I just wasn't happy doing that. It wasn't for me. I didn't like going to work and arguing every day. And then I got very interested in mental health, psychotherapy, and a lot of the people that I was working with were going through just tough times in their life. And I found that, what I really liked most about my job was just, listening to people, but that's not really what they were paying me for as a lawyer. But that's what I enjoyed doing. And I got interested in psychology and counseling. And at the age of 29, I left my job at a law firm and went back to school. I got my master's, then I got my PhD, and now I'm a licensed clinical psychologist.
I love that. Do you know how rare it is to find a person who has two doctorates, a Juris Doctorate and a PhD? Like, it's amazing. It's like, wow, that's so cool. Like, you are the person most likely to like have all of the tools, right?
Well, that's nice of you to say it, but I'm also the person most likely to know what it's like to be in a career that you're not happy with. Also, because
Ah,
I am grateful for what I learned as a lawyer. It helped me develop some analytical skills, and I think I have a better understanding of what it's like to work in a high pressure job. But I also know what it's like to be unhappy with work, to deal with high amounts of work stress, deal with a lot of pressure, and then to actually, walk away from a job that a lot of people would say, hey, what's wrong with you? You got a good job, you should be happy. But I wasn't, and I walked away from it, and now I'm really glad I did.
Yeah. And that also is another thing that's come to light after COVID. People are just not tolerant anymore of being in a soul sucking career, right? Where a lot of people are learning, myself included, but I learned mine a few years back, that you can take the money, but if the money is not um, if it's a soul sucking, and forgive me for lacking of terminology, but you know what I'm saying? It's just you go in and it drains your energy because you're like, ah, like the money really isn't worth it, is it? If your health mentally and physically start to deteriorate. So now I'm so curious, Matt, tell us if you can, tell us some success stories because you've gone through it yourself. Who did you also, and don't name names, of course, but like tell us some of the success stories of other people that you've helped walk through this path of finding happiness in their career.
Sure. Well, I also work at a veteran affairs hospital as a psychotherapist, helping veterans with these same issues that I see in my clinical practice. And, for many of them, they spend a lot of their time working as a soldier in the military. That job brings them a sense of meaning, purpose. They might have a lot of very high level responsibility, making sure people are safe in combat zones or protecting very expensive equipment. But then at a certain time, they have to leave the military or they retire and they're sitting there feeling like they've lost their sense of purpose or they've lost that identity because they're no longer in the military. And so they'll come to me, they're out of work, really searching for meaning, searching for work, searching for a way to pay their bills. And a lot of times, I'll sit with them, and a lot of times it's just giving them space to express just some of those existential fears, anxieties, and dreams that they might have. And then, we'll do some, more deeper work, helping them look at, okay, what do you feel like might be your deeper purpose or calling in your life? Or like you said, what might your soul or your spirit be speaking to you? And if, some people don't know the answers to those questions, which is perfectly okay. And so then we might just get down to some more basic questions like, tell me some things you're interested in. What are your hobbies? What are your values? What are some things that when you spend your free time, it makes you feel alive? Or what's something that you would skip your lunch just to do? Like, what are those intrinsically motivated activities? And, this takes time. This is, switching careers or switching jobs. It doesn't happen overnight, but it's really exciting because I've worked with people and, after a while, they do find work that's really exciting for them. And, their symptoms of depression, their symptoms of anxiety, their symptoms of PTSD, they go down dramatically just by finding some work that fills them with that sense of meaning and purpose again. So that's been really rewarding.
Bravo. Oh my gosh, you're doing such great work in the world, especially working with
Thanks.
veterans. You bring to light so many things that I didn't even know about. I live in Monterey, California. We have two military bases here. We have the Naval Postgraduate School, which is where the officers go for their master's degrees and higher level education. Usually it's the commanders and such. And then we also have the Army Presidio, which is the Defense Language Institute, where a lot of the people are learning another language so they can go abroad and become part of the different things in their missions. But it's just fascinating because you're right. Like there is so much identity and respect around being a military veteran. And so you're right. I never thought about that. But when they're out, it's like, oh, what do I do with myself now? Yeah, but no, you're doing really fantastic work, and I'm so proud of you. So, just out of curiosity, if people are not located in Illinois, can they still work with you, or do they have to specifically be in Illinois?
So I offer private coaching. So I can provide coaching anywhere in the world, and I've done that before. I would not be able to provide psychotherapy to anyone outside of Illinois, but I can provide private coaching to people outside the state of Illinois.
Understood. Okay, good. So even if they can't necessarily get you as their therapist, they can still get you as their coach. That's wonderful news. Well, everybody, we've run out of time, but listen, I hope you've enjoyed getting to know Dr. Matt Welsh as well as we have. But I'll tell you, if you want to find out more about him, please go to Buzz TV at iwannabuzz.com to find out more. All right, everybody, thanks so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.